I've always enjoyed meeting extraordinary and fun people. Well, today's individual I'm going to introduce you to embodies both qualities in one. Nicola Grinstead. She's from England and she holds the post of being immediate past chair of the World Board of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. Now, not lost on me is the fact that in 2012, Nicola was also named to Britain's Sunday Independent list of 100 happy people. The Happy List honors 100 outstanding people whose volunteering, caring, and fundraising activities make Britain a happier place. Now, let's meet Nicola.
First of all, you're too young to be the past president of anything. But we're here in Tunis, Tunisia at a Women Economic Forum, and this was one of the wonderful ladies I wanted to meet while here. And funny enough, we ended up sitting together at the same table. So I just wanted to ask you, and I figured let's put this on film. What was it that got you to the very tippity top of the Girl Scouts and Girl Guides when you're entirely too young to even have been past anything? Go ahead.
You're too kind. I joined the global organisation, so the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, when I was 7 years old as a brownie in the northwest of England. And I very much joined the association because it was a fun thing to do with my friends, it was sociable, and you learned loads of new things. You got the chance to do things that you'd never had the chance to do before. But I think for me, there were three really defining moments. So when I was around 18 years old, through the Girl Guides, I had the opportunity to travel to Kenya. And really, this was the first time that I'd experienced life outside of my comfort zone of the United Kingdom as a young woman independently by myself. And several things happened. So first off, I realised there was a world out there that had some things in it that I didn't really like very much. But most importantly, I also realised that a young woman like me could make a difference. A young woman like me could change things, and a young woman like me actually had a responsibility to change things. And so I got really hooked into the international dimension of what we do in the Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, that sense of experiencing what it's like to be a young woman from a different country, experiencing the power of learning from other young women, challenging your own sort of sense of self and how things work. And I got really hooked into the international side. After my trip to Kenya, I did another trip to South Africa, and I worked on an HIV and AIDS project, and that got me hooked into my second really big defining moment, which was really very much about advocacy, and so how you lobby for change. Particularly on behalf of those people that perhaps don't have a voice to lobby for change for themselves. So through the Girl Guides and the Girl Scouts, I was asked to go and do some speeches at the House of Lords, for the United Nations in New York, for the Council of Europe, in several different countries in Europe. And the first thing that struck me was I'd started off feeling quite nervous going into all of these rooms full of academics, economists, doctors, researchers, and actually the one thing that I realised was that all of the people around the decision-making table were making decisions about young women, and not one of them was a young woman. And I realised the power of a voice of a young woman, a beneficiary, somebody in the room who was going to be impacted by decisions, contributing to those decisions. And I became very passionate about the power of lobbying and advocacy and the opportunities that we should create for young people to own their own destiny. And then the last point, which was really defining for me, was following all of that, I got the opportunity to go to several global conferences, so through the UN, through the Girl Guides, and realise the power of governance, and that sense that you can make an impact on something as an individual, but if you can lift and steer an entire organisation, the impact that you can have for the good of a whole community, whole countries, whole global movements is enormous, and I was very inspired and motivated by that.
Everyone, the global membership within Girl Scouts and Girl Guides is how large?
The global membership for the Girl Guides and the Girl Scouts is 10 million girls and young women in 150 different countries. And that makes my skin tingle because it's enormous and it's wonderful. It's also less than 1% of the world's girl population. And so our ambition is even bigger numbers because we absolutely believe in the impact and the benefit of what we do.
Okay, these are I could tell you've done this before, right? Maybe once or twice.
Just a few.
You know what I'd love to know before we finish? What is the best advice you could give to a young woman or even a little girl? Anything with all of your experience and all that you've done and the views and the perspectives that you have. Just one
thing.
encouraging piece of advice.
I think I would say follow your passions, try everything that you get the opportunity to try, and then really follow your passions, do something that excites and motivates you, and really stand up for what you believe in. Don't hold yourself back.
I think it's a take. Thank you. Is that what they say in Hollywood? It's a
It
take,
is,
it's a go,
absolutely.
it's a something. It's
It's a wrap.
good. It's a wrap. That's it. Thanks, Nicola.